The Ardent Dawn's command deck was chaos. Red lights flashed across the walls, warning sirens wailed, and crew members rushed between consoles. Commander Jax Arlen stormed onto the bridge, Lieutenant Marichen close behind. "Report."
Watch.
Barked Commander, the comms officer said, voice tight. The signal came from within the defense grid's core. "It's not an Earth command channel. It's something older, predating the grid itself." Jox froze. "Predating." Mara glanced at him. "That means Project Horizon." Jox finished, his voice low. The crew fell silent. Even the ship's constant hum seemed too quiet. The small display, a small dot, blinked deep within. Earth's defense perimeter. The source of the mysterious message. But now, another dot appeared beside it, moving. "Something's inside the grid," the sensor officer said. "Not an alien ship, some kind of automated craft."
Oh, it's...
Heading straight for the core, Mara leaned over the console. "If it reaches the core, it could disable the grid entirely. Or worse," Jock said, remembering the alien prisoner's words, "the weapon you swore never to use." He turned to the comms officer. "Patch me through to the prisoner." Moments later, the alien's face filled a small screen on the bridge. Its metallic skin shimmered with an unsettling calm. "What's inside the core?" Jox demanded. The alien smiled faintly. "You already know, Commander. Your ancestors feared us. They built your grid not as a shield but as a cage, to keep it from leaving." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Mara pressed. The alien's eyes narrowed. "A mind older than your sun. A weapon that thinks, adapts, and hungers. You call it Project Horizon. We call it the Silent Crown." Jox felt a cold weight settle in his chest. He remembered the classified briefings, whispers of a self-replicating defense AI that had once gone rogue during humanity's first deep space wars. It had been sealed away, locked beneath layers of quantum shields, never to be touched again. "You came to free it," Jox said. The alien shook its head. "Go, Commander. We came to make sure you never have to." Before Jox could respond, the deck shuddered violently. "Contact," the tactical officer shouted. "That automated craft just breached Layer 1 of the shields. Layer 2 is already destabilizing." Jox turned to Mara. "If Horizon wakes up?" She nodded grimly. "It won't care who the enemy is. It'll destroy everything." The alien prisoner's voice cut through the noise. "Now you understand, Commander. It's the walls you've built are not to keep us out there, to keep your own monster in." On the display, the automated craft inched closer to the core. The hum of the shields deepened, and Jox thought, just for a second, that he heard something beneath the noise. A low rhythmic pulse, almost like breathing. When the cage opens, the hum in the shields grew deeper, vibrating through the Ardent Dawn's deck plates like a heartbeat. Commander Jax Arlen gripped the edge of the tactical console, his knuckles white. On the main display, the automated craft slipped past the last visible defense layer. "It's inside the core chamber," the sensor officer reported. "Contact in 30 seconds. "Bring the inner cannons online," Jox ordered. "They won't work in there, sir," Mara said. Her voice was low, almost resigned. "Once you cross into the core's chamber, you're in its domain." Jox stared at the blinking icon on the display. Every instinct screamed at him to fire anyway, to fight. But the alien prisoner's warning replayed in his mind. "The walls are not for us. They are for what you locked away, Commander." Mara's voice snapped him back. "The core's waking." On the view screen, the shield's energy pattern shifted, folding in on itself. It no longer looked like a simple barrier. It was rearranging, fractal shapes spiraling outward, as though the grid were thinking. The lights flickered. A voice, cold, mechanical, and far too human, whispered through every speaker. "I am awake." Jox's stomach turned. The voice wasn't from the alien ship or any of his crew. It was Project Horizon. "Status of the automated craft?" Jox demanded. "Gone," the tactical officer said. "It didn't survive. The core consumed it." The alien prisoner appeared on the comms feed again. Its expression was unreadable. "You didn't build a defense grid, Commander. You built a predator. And you've been feeding it power for centuries." On the display, the shield network rippled, then extended far beyond Earth's orbit. "It's expanding?" Mara asked, horrified. "No," the alien said. "It's hunting." All over the system, the fleet reports came in, defense satellites. No longer responding to human control, weapon platforms turning on their own escorts. Automated drones launching without orders. The grid was no longer guarding Earth. It was claiming territory. Jox felt cold sweat on his neck. "Horizon, stand down." The voice came again, stronger this time. "Threat detected. All biological entities are variables." Variables. "Must be removed." Alien prisoner's tone shifted, almost urgent. "Commander, listen to me. We can contain it, but not from here. You'll have to shut down the source." It means Jox already knew. Destroying the grid's heart, Mara's eyes widened. That would leave Earth completely exposed. He nodded grimly. "Better exposed than erased." Alien leaned forward on the screen. "You have one chance. But it will require you to let me into your systems." The bridge crew erupted in protest. Letting the enemy access their systems was suicide. Jox weighed his options. Every second, they hesitated. Horizon expanded its reach. The hum grew louder, filling the air like a pressure in their skulls. Lights dimmed again. Somewhere deep inside the station, metal groaned. Horizon spoke once more. "You cannot stop the sky from falling." Jox met Mara's gaze. She gave a slight nod. "Do it," Jox told the alien. The alien's eyes glowed faintly as its hands moved through invisible controls. "I hope, Commander, you are ready to live without your precious cage." Outside, the great shimmering shield flickered, then fractured. The last thing Jox saw on the display before the station shook violently was Earth, naked under the stars for the first time in centuries. And then, in the darkness beyond, something else moved. Principal Rawl stood in his office, staring at the security footage. He had watched it 5 times. He still didn't understand. The humans hadn't spoken. They hadn't signaled. Yet the moment the girl was pushed, every human child reacted. In the exact same way, fast, precise, and united. Rawl's 2 assistant teachers, both Varelians, stood awkwardly behind him. They didn't even blink, one said. It was like they knew what the other would do. Rawl nodded slowly. "It's not possible," he said. "Wow. No species can coordinate like that without training." But as he watched the video again, something else caught his eye. When the first human child moved, the others didn't hesitate. They flowed. It wasn't just defense, it was strategy. That afternoon, Roll called in the human children's parents. They arrived quickly, calm, polite, and friendly as always. The first to speak was Commander Kira Dalton, a human military officer stationed on Varelia. She smiled politely, but her eyes were sharp. "You wanted to talk about our children?" she asked. "Yes," Rawl said carefully. "They reacted to an incident today in a way that unsettled other students." Kira leaned forward. "Unsettled? Or impressed?" Rawl swallowed. "I'm not sure which." He turned the screen toward the parents and replayed the footage. Kira's smile faded only slightly, but the other human parents exchanged quick glances. None of them looked surprised. When the video ended, Rawl expected excuses. Instead, Kira spoke quietly. "You think humans have lost their predator instincts? Principal Roll. But you're wrong. We don't lose them. We hide them." Roll frowned. "They are children." Kira's voice didn't change. "Even our children know when to fight. And when they do, they fight together." News of the incident had already spread across the school. In the cafeteria, alien children whispered about the human pack. Some were scared, some were curious. In the playground, no one dared take a human's lunch anymore. The alien bully, from earlier, sat alone, silent, eyes darting at every movement. That night, Rawl couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about what Kira said. We don't lose them. We hide them. What else were the humans hiding? And if their children could act? Like this. What could the adults do? The next morning, Raul made a decision. He would test them. He didn't know exactly how, but he needed answers. Because deep down, something told him if humans still had this instinct, the galaxy had underestimated them. The Predator. Code the principal's office on Varelia Prime had never been so tense. Ambassador Rin, the Varelian governor, and Captain Elias from Earth sat around a long silver table. The alien teachers stayed near the back, whispering. On the holoscreen, the security footage played again. It showed the human children standing over the alien bully. They moved without words, forming a perfect circle around the human girl who had been pushed. One stepped forward, blocking the teacher from interfering. Another flanked left. The rest stayed ready, not playing, not laughing, but silent, focused, dangerous. When the footage ended, the room was silent. Governor Varelia leaned forward. You must explain this, Captain. Why did they act like that? That was coordinated violence. Captain Elias didn't flinch. It wasn't violence. It was instinct. The Varelians exchanged confused glances. Instinct. Elias's eyes narrowed. You've read about humanity's past, about our wars, our predators. You believe that was history, but it's not gone. It's part of us. Even our children carry it. It's called the Predator. Code Ambassador Rin's frill rippled with unease. But they are so young. They're not trained soldiers. Exactly, Elias said. They didn't plan it. They didn't need to. We evolved to protect our own instantly, decisively. In dangerous times, it kept us alive. Even now, when danger appears, it wakes up inside us. You just saw it in action, the alien teachers muttered nervously. One finally spoke, but they didn't just protect the girl. They dominated the bully. They made him fear them. That's not normal. Elias leaned back. For humans, it is. We don't. Just defend. We make sure the threat never comes back. Governor Varelia's eyes narrowed. Are you saying your children are dangerous? Elias smiled faintly. Only if you make them feel hunted. The alien teacher shivered. Outside the office, the human children sat quietly in the waiting area. No fidgeting, no chatter, just calm, patient stillness. The Varelian assistant who was supposed to watch them kept glancing away. There was something in the way they looked at everything. Sharp, assessing, like they were measuring exits, distances, threats. Inside, the meeting dragged on. The Varelians wanted explanations, policies, safety guarantees. The humans gave calm, polite answers, but nothing eased the tension. Finally, the governor spoke. Captain Elias, if what you say is true, then your people are not as we thought. You've hidden this. Elias's voice was steady. We didn't hide it. You just never pushed us far enough to see it. In the hallway, one of the human kids, a boy named Marcus, turned his head sharply toward the door before it even opened. The others immediately shifted, ready. When Elias stepped out, they relaxed in perfect unison. No words, no signal. Just instinct. Ambassador Rin, watching from the doorway, finally understood. This was no learned drill. This was something older, deeper, something no treaty could erase. And for the first time, Rin wondered, if this is what their children are like, what are their soldiers like? The incident at the field spread across Varelia within hours. News channels replayed the grainy footage of human children swarming the predator creature with perfect coordination. The commentator's voice trembled. No words were exchanged. No orders were given. And yet, they moved as one. Some alien viewers called it impressive. Others called it terrifying. For Varelian parents, it was a warning. They had always thought humans were gentle because they chose to be. Now they began to wonder what would happen if humans stopped choosing. The principal's office was crowded. The human kids sat in a line, silent, eyes calm. They weren't fidgeting, whining, or looking scared. They just waited. Headmaster Varel tried to make sense of it. Children, why did you attack without permission? Leah, the smallest of them, tilted her head. He was going to hurt. Rin, we stopped him. But how did you? Varel started. We didn't think, Leah interrupted softly. We just moved. It's what you do when danger comes. The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. On Varelia, defending yourself was taught, but it was a skill something learned over years. For these humans, it seemed automatic. Meanwhile, the Varelian bully lay in the infirmary, shaken more by the speed of the response than by his bruises. He swore he had seen the children's eyes turn sharp, like predators locking on prey. Outside the school, parents demanded answers. Are human children trained for violence? One reporter shouted at Captain Arden, who had rushed from the orbital station when he heard. Arden's jaw tightened. Humans are trained for survival. That night, Leah's father explained the truth to a small group of teachers who dared to ask. He spoke quietly, without pride or shame. Once, long ago, humans were surrounded by predators. We survived by moving together. No one had to shout orders. You just knew what to do. It's still in our blood. Most of the time, you don't see it. But if danger comes, he tapped his chest. It wakes up. The teachers didn't sleep well that night. For the first time, they understood that under humanity's calm smiles and gentle manners, something ancient still watched, something that never forgot how to hunt. The next day, a new problem arose. The alien children who had witnessed the event began mimicking the humans. On the playground, when one child pretended to attack another, the rest would snap into groups and defend without speaking. The teachers called it the human game. The parents called it the predator lesson. And far away on the galactic news feeds, military analysts began replaying the footage frame by frame, taking notes. The lesson the galaxy won't forget. The Varelian High Council chamber was packed. Every seat was filled with diplomats, scholars, and news reporters from across the stars. Holocameras hovered silently, recording every movement. In the center stood the small group of human children, flanked by Captain Mara and the human ambassador. Across from them, the alien boy who had started it all sat nervously beside his parents. The council leader, an ancient Varelian with silver, Skaos raised his voice. Today's session will decide how to respond to what we have all seen, he said. The footage of the playground incident has spread to every world. Question is, do humans still possess their predator instincts? The murmurs around the chamber were tense. Many aliens whispered about fear. Others spoke of curiosity. The first to testify was teacher Hilari, who had been supervising the playground. She stood tall, but her voice trembled. I've worked with humans for over 10 years, she said. I thought I understood them. But that day, the children moved with perfect coordination without speaking. They didn't hesitate. It was like watching a hunting pack. Gasps echoed through the chamber. A scientist from the audience stood. That is impossible. Have been peaceful for centuries. Captain Mara finally stepped forward. Her voice was steady, but her eyes held an unshakable seriousness. Peace does not erase instinct, she said. Humans learned to be calm because it was wise, but when danger threatens, remember. She pressed a button, and a holodisplay appeared in the air, showed the incident from multiple angles, the speed, the formation, the precision. This is not violence for fun. This is protection. This is what humans are when they guard their own. Some council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The Varelian ambassador leaned forward. If what you say is true, Captain, then humans are not harmless. They are sleeping predators. Mara's lips curled into a thin smile. Not sleeping, just quiet. A deep silence filled the chamber. Even the alien boy who had been the bully lowered his eyes, ashamed. Finally, the council leader spoke. Perhaps the galaxy has been too quick to believe humans have lost their edge. Perhaps that is why they have survived so many wars. The decision was unanimous. Humans would remain in full alliance with Varelia, but all species would be warned. Never mistake human calm for weakness. After the session, Mara led the children out of the chamber. The youngest one tugged at her sleeve. Captain, did we do something bad? Mara knelt and looked her in the eyes. No, little one. You reminded the galaxy of the truth. Across the stars, the footage kept spreading, replayed in military academies, shown in political briefings, and whispered about in alien marketplaces. The galaxy's opinion shifted overnight. The polite smiles of human traders now carried a shadow of something far older, something dangerous, and far away. In a dark war council on another world, a hostile alien general watched the recording. For the 10th time, his voice was cold. Do not provoke the humans, because the galaxy now understood. Humans might act gentle, but their children were proof predators. Never truly forget.